Former World of Warcraft team lead Mark Kern has launched an 8-step plan to roll back the censorship that has been applied to Stellar Blade just ahead of its official release. Before we get into this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. Wrote this up over at thatparkplace.com. And before we get to Kern's 8-step plan, let's kind of go over what has been happening with this game. First off, Stellar Blade promised that the game would be shipped uncensored in all countries. They posted this on X just a couple days ago, April 21st, 5 days ago. And it reads, Stellar Blade offers the same uncensored version in all countries, including the Japanese version. So that is indeed what Shift Up Corporation, what Sony, and what the official Stellar Blade account promised. Shift Up Corporation being the developer, Sony being the publisher. However, as noted by ex-user Rodrigo Ibanez, one of Eve's outfits called the Holiday Bunny has added fabric to cover up Eve's cleavage as well as around her hips. You can see that this is what it looks like on the unpatched disc. You can see that there is some fabric there covering up her cleavage in the middle there. And then they've also added some fabric here around her hips. And then there's this new Game Plus variant that has added a different color as well. It still looks like it has the fabric or material in between her boobs there on her chest. And it does look like maybe, I can't tell if they've removed the fabric on her hips or not. It's hard to tell. But it's possible that they did that as well in the new Game Plus version. We also had this from Mangalore. I think there's a bunch of other costumes too that have been changed as well. It's not just this one. There's a couple of others that have been changed. And then we have this from Mangalore as well, where the gore has been significantly reduced. So you can see there's like a ton of blood splatter here after she's killing some kind of demonic creature on the left, which is the original pre-patch. And then on the right, you can see not as much blood spatter. She's much more cleaner, I guess, is the best word for that on the right post patch. So there's definitely been some censorship changes happening here in this game. As reported by Packer Girl, Stellar Blade director Hyung Tae Kim, or I think I'm not sure. I'm not Korean. I'm probably mixing his name up there. But Packer Girl reports that he has acknowledged the censorship at a launch event on April 26th. That was today over there in Korea. He says, we're aware of the issue. The version we ended up showing was a day one patch version. It's not an answer that will satisfy users anyway. Internal discussions are ongoing. So I think by saying internal discussions are ongoing, it's possible that they could indeed switch it back, or they're figuring out what exactly is going on or why it was changed. There seems to be maybe some dialogue happening as to whether or not they'll keep the changes or maybe change them back. She also shared footage of his comments here. I will have the link to this article in the description below where you can watch the video here. It's from Reddit. So after all of this, there's clear changes have been made. Kern laid out his 8-step plan to restore the original game. His first step is him reaching out to, he calls him Kim Hyung Tae. I assume that's the same person. Probably some how you pronounce names in Korean that I'm just not familiar with. So I do apologize if I got that wrong, but he calls him Kim Hyung Tae, and he says, reached out to Kim Hyung Tae, creator of Stellar Blade. Well, we had some casual DMs before. I sent him this morning. Launch day is very busy. He will not be in the office for some time, or if he is, it will be in meetings. So I don't expect to hear back. That's not the point. The point is to get the ball rolling. So Kern is saying he is getting the ball rolling. He has reached out to Kim Hyung Tae to talk to him about, or to explain to him why he thinks the game should be rolled back to how it was originally marketed and how Stellar Blade promised it would be uncensored. He then shared step 2. He says he follows me. As I tweet about what we're going to do, you can leave replies and he will likely see how many there are and read them. Everything we say matters. The goal is change. And this is a different culture. He's talking about Korean culture. Let's set the tone for what they see. Be polite, be brief, but clear. Show the support for changing it back. No black pill replies. Everyone fights. Nobody quits. So asking people to respond to Kern's posts in regards with Kim Hyung Tae, responding to posts that Kim Hyung Tae has made, asking to have the game be set back to how they originally marketed it, uncensored. For step 3, Kern says, I am search banned on Twitter like a not safe for work tag artists get. Even though I don't post not safe for work, this is likely to anti-Grummz forces falsely mass reporting me for not safe for work, likely Stellar Blade images and triggering automated responses. This limits people searching for my tweets. I've experienced this. Help me get X and support to reverse it. Keep tweeting this at them to make them aware. Obviously, this is so more people can see that he has laid out these steps. He's leading this campaign, raising more awareness. If he's search banned, it's a little bit harder for people maybe to find his posts on X. It's not, maybe it is harder. He goes on and says, for now, only direct links to my Twitter will work. So you have to post a link when you start spreading the battle plan. Again, that's why he wants this to be resolved by X, because he is sharing a battle plan here. It says only direct links to my Twitter will work. So you have to post a link when you start spreading the plan. Autocomplete to tag me won't work. You have to type Grummz. Not every user is affected, but the majority are unable to search or tag me automatically. I will say that I have been affected by this. It's really annoying, but I have been affected by it. Step 4 is to contact Stellar Blade's developer Shift Up. Kern instructed to be most effective, you need to mail a physical letter. Expats or Korean fans need to also politely visit their offices to physically drop off a letter, but also email. You can send it here, and then he links their email. Asian cultures are different, and tone and physical mail carries more weight than emails. Funny enough, faxes work too. MMO companies there even have centers customers can visit. He then shared an example message to send, and it says, your game is more than a game. It is a cultural beacon worldwide for change in AAA gaming. You have our support. Please reverse the changes and show us the game uncensored. And then he also recommends sending that to Second Eve Studio, which is a subsidiary of Shift Up Corporation. And he shows that through a wiki, a wiki page, looks like, or it might be potentially be from like Shift Up's like corporate page. After contacting Shift Up and their subsidiary Shift Up Second Eve Studio, he advised players to contact Sony North America and PlayStation. He suggested a completely different tactic, whereas with Shift Up and Shift Up Second Eve Studio, he wants you to send polite emails and visit them in person or send them physical letters. With Sony North America and PlayStation, he says Sony is different. North America offices are very sensitive to social media. You need to post to them, tag them, and get hashtag free Stellar Blade trending. There is a double standard. Cyberpunk, Baldur's Gate 3, post comparison images with those and other games that Sony also rates mature. Highlight it, get it trending. I think that is a good suggestion, but I would advise sharing anything that could put your soul in danger or other people's souls in danger. I wouldn't want to like send complete nude photos or anything like that. I think you can do that I think you can show the hypocrisy without doing that. That's just my suggestion there. He then instructs people to begin boycotting Sony and specifically their PlayStation Plus subscriptions. He says boycott, but boycott the right target. We're also going to support Stellar Blade. Send the real target, Sony, a message. Cancel your PlayStation Plus subscription. He also advised buy physical copies of the game instead. Don't give Sony their digital margin. I agree. I don't know why people buy digital anyways. I always primarily buy physical. The only time I buy digital is when you can only buy digital and they don't offer a physical copy. Usually for all of my Nintendo Switch games, I always try and find a physical copy. I never usually buy digital. I think I only have one. I think maybe I have one or two digitals. That's because that's the only form you can get it in. And that's why I have it in digital, but I always usually try and buy physical. It's good advice there. He then calls for people to sign a change.org petition he created that calls on the game to be uncensored. He said, the petition I made to hashtag free Stellar Blade is up. Sign it, spread it, get it trending. Electronic petitions carry less weight in Asia than physical. We will print the petition in Korea and have it delivered to Shift Up offices and Sony office. And this is the petition here. You can see it already has over 4,000 signatures. Let's refresh this page here, see if it's gone up. There it has. Wow. 4,107 to 4,156. That's a significant increase there. But this is basically what the petition says. Change it back. Stellar Blade is a phenomenal new game that just launched on PlayStation 5 worldwide, but has a problem. The content has been censored from the original trailer version posted by Sony. We as gamers want this content back. What does he say there? We relied on it. We made the game the #1 pre-order worldwide because of it, and this is the true game we want. So I think that's the gist of it right there. I'm not going to go read through the rest of it. Again, like I said, you can find all of this in the description of the video here. I'll have the link to the article where you can find it all. And so his final step 8 is contact YouTubers. Send them this thread, get the word out, and get them to make content about it, which I'm doing, right? Get loud and hashtag free Stellar Blade. And then he also said, he also had a response to people who think that this strategy won't work. He said he posted a kind of generic complaint. This plan won't work. We should just cancel and go home. And he responds to people who might have that frame of mind. He says, sorry, you're wrong. I've used it before and I've won. I led the change to bring WoW Classic back, World of Warcraft Classic back. I brought the Nostalrius petition to Blizzard and we got it back. We can change it here too. Shift Up would love to have ammo to bring to Sony. We're going to give it to them. Keep your copies of Stellar Blade. Buy it physical so you have the original outfits. We're going to change it back. So it is unclear why the game was censored in the first place, why they decided to tone down the gore, why they decided to kind of remove some of the fabric on some of those costumes. But recognizing beauty is not wrong. Catholic apologist Jimmy Akin explained the difference between lust and admiring beauty back in 2018. He said this: beauty is something that exists in the human form and God created it, and that's great. So we're not supposed to not recognize it or not appreciate it. So it's perfectly fine to note the qualities, the good qualities that another person has, and to appreciate them. So if you see a beautiful woman and you think, wow, that's a beautiful woman, that's okay. You're not committing a mortal sin. You don't need to worry about that. He then contrasts this with lust. And so it doesn't become a sin, mortal or otherwise, until you start to voluntarily respond and say, I think I'm going to indulge this. And I think I'm going to start thinking about what it would be like to have sex with this person. When you start getting voluntary about it, when you start going beyond appreciating the beauty and deliberately engaging in lustful thoughts, well, that's where it does become sinful. And even then, it doesn't mean it's a mortal sin, because people, and this is true of both sexes, but it's especially true of guys at a certain point in their lives, it's very easy to unintentionally slip into some thoughts of that nature. And in those situations, there may be sin, but it's not a mortal sin, because what's lacking is full deliberation. You can listen to his full video explaining the difference between lust and beauty in the video here that's in the article. So again, I don't understand why it is being censored. It doesn't really make any sense. We haven't gotten any kind of explanation as to why any of this stuff is being changed. But Mark Kern is leading an 8-step. He has an 8-step plan. He's laid it out here, and he wants Shift Up and Sony to provide the product that they said they were going to provide back on April 21st, and the product that they were marketing, which they have now changed. So we'll see what happens with this. I want to get your thoughts on this. What do you guys make of this 8-step plan? Will you be participating in the plan? What steps are you going to take, if any? Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts as to why you think that Sony and Shift Up made these changes, enacted this censorship here on Stellar Blade? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, but to always speak the truth.